Earth's representative, Commander Jason Ward, stood alone at the hall's center, an island of calm amidst waves of ridicule. Known for his stoic demeanor, Jason's expression remained unreadable as he faced a sea of jeering eyes and alien smirks. The council's laughter rang out like a chorus, the mocking tones echoing from every side. In particular, General Krovas, a towering figure among the Zathrians, couldn't contain his amusement. His chest rumbled as he laughed, his scaled arms crossed as he regarded Jason with a condescending glare. "Tell me, Commander Ward," he sneered, wiping away a tear from his eye. "Is it true that you humans bond with creatures weaker than yourselves? That you keep fragile animals as pets?" His lip curled in a mocking grin. "Is this how you console yourselves, by surrounding yourselves with lap-warmers?" The council erupted again, various alien leaders snickering and trading whispers. To these species, whose cultures glorified power and bred lethal creatures solely for war, humanity's attachment to Earth's fauna was absurd, if not outright pitiful. They saw Earth's animals as little more than delicate amusements, a reflection of their view that humans were soft, sentimental, and weak. But Jason's posture never faltered. His eyes were sharp, steady, and calculating as he watched them mock. He understood their perspective. These were races that had never known life on a world like Earth, where survival wasn't only about might but also wit, resilience, and adaptability. He'd faced down enough threats to know that sometimes strength came in unexpected forms, and that lessons of survival were often taught by Earth's smallest creatures. When the laughter finally ebbed, Jason raised a hand. "I hear your assumptions, General Krovas," he began, his voice calm but carrying a weight that silenced the remaining whispers. "But strength isn't always about brutality. You speak of Earth's creatures as though they are soft, but that's only because you haven't seen what they're capable of." A murmur rippled through the crowd as he continued, his words hanging in the air like a challenge. "I propose a test, a battle. You bring one of your finest predators, and I'll bring one of ours." The hall fell silent as his words settled, and then Krovas let out a bark of laughter, his scales gleaming with contempt. "A battle?" he scoffed, glancing around the room to gauge the council's reaction. "And what, pray tell, will you bring? A cuddly puppy? Perhaps a defenseless bird?" He let out a cruel laugh, and several other representatives joined in, already entertained by the thought. Jason's gaze remained fixed on Krovas, unfazed by the alien sneers. "No, General," he said, his tone unwavering. "I have something much more suitable in mind. A creature with a patience that matches its strength, a predator that is as relentless as it is silent. You want to see Earth's power? I'll show you the snow leopard." At the mention of the animal, the council's laughter dulled to puzzled murmurs. Most of the council members were unfamiliar with this particular Earth creature, having heard only of the domesticated dogs, cats, and birds commonly associated with humans. To them, a snow leopard sounded no more threatening than any other of Earth's seemingly harmless animals. General Krovas arched an eyebrow, his expression shifting from mockery to mild intrigue. "Very well, Commander," he replied, his voice a mixture of scorn and curiosity. "Bring your leopard. I'll pit it against our Gorth, the greatest predator the Zathrian homeworld has ever produced." He leaned forward, his scaled face twisting into a grin. "Tomorrow, we'll see if your Earth creature is any match for a true predator." Jason gave a small nod, his expression unwavering as he acknowledged the terms of the challenge. He'd seen the Gorth in combat, a monstrous, brutish creature engineered specifically to embody the Zathrians' values of sheer size and power. But he also knew that in nature, brute force was not the only path to victory. The council adjourned, its members filing out with whispers of anticipation and amusement. Word of the challenge spread quickly, reaching every corner of the grand hall and beyond. Most of the council members, already dismissing Jason's chances, spoke of the upcoming match as a foregone conclusion, convinced they would witness Earth's creature humiliated. Jason, however, remained still, absorbing the energy around him. His face, usually stoic, softened just a bit as he thought of the snow leopard, a creature honed by Earth's relentless mountains, one that had learned to survive in ways most aliens would never understand. To those in the council, The Gorth was the pinnacle of power, an apex predator bred to annihilate its prey. But to Jason, the snow leopard represented something far greater, a symbol of Earth's resilience, a testament to the strength that arose not from brute force, but from mastery of one's environment. As he left the council chamber, he felt the eyes of the alien leaders upon him, some filled with pity, others with anticipation of an easy victory. But he held his head high, each step steady, focused, and determined. He knew the journey ahead, and he welcomed it. For in the arena tomorrow, it wouldn't just be a test of creatures. It would be a battle of beliefs, a lesson in strength that the galaxy would not soon forget. The challenge had been set, and tomorrow, Earth would speak for itself. The arena was packed, a sprawling amphitheater filled with a restless audience eager for the spectacle about to unfold. Murmurs and low laughter echoed through the crowd as aliens jostled for better views. There was an air of smug anticipation. Few doubted how the match would end. The Zathrians' chosen champion, the Gorth, would surely decimate whatever small creature the humans brought. For many, this was not merely a battle, it was proof of humanity's frailty. At the edge of the arena, Commander Jason Ward stood alone, an island of calm amidst the clamor. His face was impassive as he observed the crowd, noting their expectant smiles and whispered remarks. Yet behind his composed gaze lay a fierce confidence. He had not come here to placate, to explain, or to justify humanity's unique bond with Earth's creatures. Today, he had come to demonstrate. Across the arena, General Krovas, towering and armored, took his seat among the Zathrians. His expression brimmed with pride as he looked upon his people's champion, the Gorth, a monstrous creature, bred and perfected by generations of genetic manipulation. The Gorth's massive, rippling frame seemed carved from stone, each muscle coiled and ready to unleash carnage. Its jagged teeth gleamed as it prowled in circles, impatient for the bloodshed to begin. Its thick, scaled hide glistened under the arena lights, and its crimson eyes burned with a predatory hunger that promised swift and brutal victory. A hush fell over the crowd as Jason finally approached a large crate stationed at the arena's edge. With a slow, deliberate motion, he released the latch, stepping back as the creature within emerged. Out into the arena padded Earth's champion, the snow leopard. Its thick, silvery fur and powerful, lithe body glowed softly under the lights, an elegant figure of calm amidst the rough and jagged scenery of the arena. The silence turned to scattered laughter as aliens in the crowd registered what they were seeing. Compared to the Gorth, the snow leopard appeared almost delicate, its lean frame dwarfed by the towering beast that waited across the arena. It moved with a silent, measured grace, each step deliberate and unhurried, its keen eyes scanning the arena and locking onto its opponent. The snow leopard's tail flicked back and forth, its expression unreadable, its posture calm yet poised, like a blade held in reserve. General Krovas leaned forward, his mouth twisted in a grin. "This is your champion?" he called out, his voice thick with derision. "A creature of Earth's frozen peaks, perhaps better suited to warming your laps than fighting in an arena." The Zathrians laughed again, joined by other aliens who saw in the snow leopard only what they wished to see, an underwhelming creature, unsuited for battle. But Jason's face remained neutral. He understood the aliens' reaction, their narrow view of strength, as defined solely by size and aggression. What they did not see was the unyielding power contained within each movement of the snow leopard, a predator honed by some of Earth's most brutal landscapes, where survival demanded more than strength alone. Patience, precision, and resilience were this creature's weapons, forged in silent winters and fierce mountain storms. Today, they would see what true Earth-bred power looked like. A horn sounded, and the arena fell silent, the battle beginning with that single, ringing note. The Gorth let out a guttural roar, its scaled chest heaving as it charged forward, jaws open wide, a blur of raw force and rage. But the snow leopard did not flinch. In a single, graceful movement, it sidestepped the Gorth's strike, leaving the massive creature to stumble forward, jaws snapping shut on empty air. A murmur rippled through the crowd as the snow leopard circled its opponent, silent and calculating. The Gorth turned, red eyes blazing, and lunged again, claws slashing at the air. But the snow leopard was already moving, slipping just beyond the Gortha's reach, its every motion smooth and fluid. Each missed strike brought a visible frustration to the Gortha's stance, its wild attacks growing faster, more reckless. The audience shifted in their seats, the laughter quieting as they began to watch with new intensity. They had expected a quick and brutal match, an easy victory for the Gorth. But this was different. For the first time, some of them leaned forward, curiosity replacing smugness as they saw the snow leopard's silent, composed movements, its patience a stark contrast to the Gortha's fury. Then, in a flash, the snow leopard struck. It lunged, closing the distance in a single leap, its powerful jaws finding the vulnerable skin along the Gortha's underbelly. The creature roared in pain, staggering back as blood darkened its scales. The snow leopard released, landing lightly a few paces away, its cold, yellow eyes never leaving its opponent. The arena fell silent as the crowd registered what they had just seen. The Gorth, their engineered predator, had been wounded by an earth creature they had deemed insignificant. General Krova's grin faltered, his smugness replaced with a flicker of doubt as he looked on, his pride beginning to give way to unease. Jason's gaze remained fixed on the arena, his confidence unwavering. He knew the battle was far from over, but in the snow leopard's first calculated strike, he saw the shift he had hoped for. Here, in the heart of the Galactic Council's most revered arena, Earth had begun to make its mark. The battle had only just begun. With a shrill command from the Zathrian overseer, the Gorth leaped forward, its gaping maw lunging for the snow leopard. The Gortha's weight and ferocity had shattered prey across galaxies, but the snow leopard sidestepped in a heartbeat, so seamlessly it was as if it hadn't moved at all. The Gortha's jaws snapped shut on empty air, its prey already several paces away, calmly observing. The crowd gasped, their voices rising with excitement and confusion. No one had expected this, an earth creature so small, yet capable of evading an attack that would flatten most beasts. Snarling in frustration, the Gorth whirled around, its eyes blazing with a mixture of surprise and fury. For a moment, the two creatures locked eyes, one set burning with rage, the other icy calm. The leopard's stare seemed to unsettle even the Gorth, as if it were not merely the object of this predator's attack, but a rival it had underestimated. With a hissing growl, the Gorth lunged again, its claws sweeping through the air. This time, the snow leopard responded with a flash of movement. It darted forward, close enough to graze the Gortha's exposed flank, its claws raking the armored hide with precision. The Gorth roared in pain as thin lines of blood traced down its scales, its first injury shocking the audience into silence. In disbelief, the aliens leaned forward, transfixed by the leopard's silent, calculated movements, and the Gortha's mounting frustration. The snow leopard continued its dance, each movement purposeful, each strike intentional. It never wasted energy, only attacking when it saw a chance to weaken the Gorth. The patience honed by Earth's rugged mountain ranges was on full display as the leopard waited, measuring every step, its body conserving energy, a quiet storm about to unleash. Across the arena, Commander Jason Ward watched intently, his face calm, showing only the faintest smile. The jeering aliens from earlier, who had mocked Earth's harmless creatures, were now silent, their faces a mix of awe and disbelief as the snow leopard began to turn the tide of the battle. The Gorth, growing desperate, charged wildly, abandoning strategy in favor of sheer brute force. But each clumsy attempt to catch the snow leopard only left it further exhausted, while the leopard's keen eyes studied every gap in its opponent's defenses. When the Gorth stumbled, the snow leopard seized the moment, darting in to rake its underbelly with a powerful swipe of its claws, leaving a crimson streak across its vulnerable flesh. The aliens could scarcely believe what they were seeing. This creature, a mere earthling, as they called it, was outmatching the galaxy's mightiest predator not through power, but through a mastery of the hunt the aliens had never seen. For the first time, they recognized something beyond Earth's softness, or humanity's perceived frailty. They saw the snow leopard's mastery of patience, instinct, and precision, and it left them speechless. The Gortha's breaths became labored, its eyes wild, as it tried to steady itself. Blood stained the arena floor, marking where the snow leopard's strikes had found their mark. And then, as the Gorth made one final, desperate lunge, the snow leopard bounded gracefully onto its back, its claws sinking into the thick, armored scales. Holding on with an unyielding grip, it drove its powerful jaws into the creature's neck, delivering a killing bite that reverberated across the arena. The Gortha's body shuddered, and slowly it collapsed, its colossal form hitting the ground with a thunderous crash. The snow leopard stood atop its fallen foe, panting lightly, but its gaze steady, its expression one of quiet triumph. Its coat, now flecked with the Gortha's blood, was illuminated under the arena lights, a ghostly predator embodying Earth's true resilience and strength. Not a sound could be heard. The aliens, who had once laughed at Earth's creatures, were struck silent, their faces pale with realization. This was not merely a creature of elegance or beauty, but of survival, a creature molded by nature to endure and outwit even the fiercest of opponents. As Jason stepped forward, his face filled with pride, the snow leopard turned its gaze toward him, an unspoken understanding passing between them. In the silence, Jason's quiet confidence radiated, his message to the council clear without a single word spoken. As the dust settled in the arena, a thick, almost reverent silence filled the air. The snow leopard stood atop the lifeless Gorth, its form outlined by the arena lights, a creature of elegance and unyielding power. Its ghostly fur, now stained with the red of its opponent's blood, caught the gaze of every spectator in the stands. Even those who had once scoffed now found themselves captivated, unable to deny the undeniable prowess before them. Commander Jason Ward stepped forward, his face calm yet bearing a sense of quiet pride. He approached the snow leopard with the respect of an old comrade, acknowledging the creature's victory with a steady, approving nod. For a moment, the two stood side by side, the human and the predator, unified in purpose and resolute strength. It was a picture of Earth's resilience and adaptability, qualities that had brought them through their own struggles and battles to this very moment. The crowd, still reeling from the unexpected outcome, began to murmur, their voices carrying a mixture of awe, disbelief, and an inkling of newfound respect. Aliens from across the galaxy had witnessed the fall of the Zathrian Gorth, a creature thought invincible, and had seen in its place an earthling champion that defied every preconceived notion they held. Where they had expected fragility, they had found resilience. Where they anticipated defeat, they had seen unyielding strategy and precision. At last, General Krovas of the Zathrians descended from the stands, his footsteps echoing against the arena floor as he approached Jason. His face, once filled with arrogance and smug superiority, was now softened, his usual bravado tempered by humility. He looked at the snow leopard with something close to admiration, though tinged with the acceptance of his own misjudgment. "You have proven your point, Commander Ward," Krovas said, his voice rough but sincere. "Earth's creatures are not the harmless pets I once imagined. Nor, I see now, is humanity as soft as we assumed." Jason offered a small, measured smile. "Our strength lies not only in brute force, General. Our history, like that of many species, is marked by survival. Our creatures are reflections of that. They may seem gentle or unassuming, but they carry within them the will to endure and the instinct to fight when it matters." Krovas nodded, his gaze still fixed on the snow leopard, a symbol of Earth's unspoken power. "I see that now," he admitted, a hint of reluctance in his tone. "Perhaps we have all underestimated what true strength looks like." Jason seized this moment, his words deliberate, carrying the weight of his message. "Earth's creatures have evolved alongside us, learning patience, precision, and resilience, not because they were the largest or the loudest, but because they adapted to survive. In a universe where strength is often measured by size, you've seen today that our power lies in something more profound." The Zathrian general was silent, a faint glimmer of understanding in his eyes as he absorbed Jason's words. Around them, murmurs of agreement began to ripple through the stands. Aliens who had once looked down on Earth's creatures now saw them in a new light, a respect sparked by the raw, unfiltered strength they had witnessed. Word would spread across galaxies, Jason knew, changing how others viewed humanity and its strange, beautiful planet filled with seemingly tame life forms. As the snow leopard turned, its sharp gaze surveying the crowd, a powerful message resonated in its silent presence. Earth's creatures were more than docile companions. They were survivors, each carrying a hidden strength shaped by eons of adaptation and challenge. Jason sensed that this event had shifted something in the galactic psyche, a perspective that would make alien civilizations reconsider their perceptions of humans and their bond with nature. Krovas, visibly humbled, extended a hand toward Jason, a gesture of mutual respect. "Let this be a lesson to us all, Commander Ward," he said. "Today, you have reminded us that strength is not merely in dominance but in endurance, in the quiet resilience to face odds that appear insurmountable. We Zathrians have our pride, but today we've learned humility." Jason shook his hand firmly, a silent promise of understanding between them. "Remember this, General, and share it with others. Earth's strength may be subtle, but it's enduring. And it's not only in us, but in the creatures that share our world." As they parted, Jason took a final glance around the arena, noting the changed expressions on the faces of those who had once laughed and sneered. The snow leopard, by now returned to his side, had become more than a simple predator. It had embodied Earth's spirit, showing that strength was not always in ferocity, but in the will to survive, to wait for the right moment, and to act with quiet precision. With the arena now emptying and the spectators subdued, Jason and the snow leopard walked side by side out of the arena, leaving an impression that would echo through the galaxy. News of the snow leopard's victory would spread, challenging species across star systems to reconsider what they valued in strength and endurance. Earth, once thought inconsequential, would now be seen as a world of both beauty and power, its creatures and people bearing a resilience that commanded respect. The message was clear. Earth's strength was not a boastful roar or a towering figure but a quiet, unbreakable resolve shared by every being it nurtured. And as Jason walked out of the arena, he knew this was only the beginning of a newfound respect that would reshape humanity's place among the stars.